Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. And welcome to this new video here on Bitcoin, but a little bit of a different video. As some of you might have seen, I posted a poll yesterday on the YouTube community, but also in the Telegram and Discord groups and on X. Which if you don't follow me there, then follow me. It's at Cilinix Crypto. But I posted a poll talking about that I'm interested in making these more long-term videos, all right? So that we'll talk about Bitcoin, let's say, for the entirety of 2025. And then my strategy and my plans and my areas where I would potentially like to buy Bitcoin to hopefully get a profitable year on Bitcoin, and I'm going to make this a series, all right? So we will discuss several altcoins. So make sure to reply to that if you still have some altcoins you'd like to see for that. We're definitely going to cover Bitcoin in this video. A lot of people requested XRP. I already covered XRP, all right? As you can see right here, 4 days ago, I did a video talking about my long-term XRP plan, in which I talked about different scenarios, different buy levels, and when to take profit. Check that out if you're interested in XRP. I will definitely keep you updated on that as well. So you can just subscribe if you're interested in that as well. But for now, let's talk about Bitcoin. All right. And we'll definitely cover Solana as well. We'll cover Ethereum. I think we'll cover Ondo and maybe some AI coins, but I still have to think about that. But no, the general idea of this video is that we'll zoom all the way out, which we have done so far. As you can see, we can see all the price action dating back to February 2023. Better times. We still have the bull market ahead of us right now. I'm not so sure. But all right, so talking about Bitcoin, look, when I think about Bitcoin in 2025, for me, especially given the price action right now, there's basically two scenarios, all right? And you have a bearish scenario and you have a little bit more of a bullish scenario. And then in the end, you have to also make the decision yourself, which one of these scenarios do I think is most likely. Because the first scenario, I would like to call the neutral to bullish scenario. And that is basically that this bearish pressure that we've seen from Bitcoin since the middle of February has mostly been fueled by bearish pressure and FUD coming from geopolitical tensions, trade war tensions, the stock market pushing down, and that basically this will all revert back up once those issues are solved, right? And that Bitcoin will be able to reclaim this main support level right here at 93,000, that will be able to get back into this consolidation which we have held from the end of November until the middle of February, and then eventually we will also break out of this and rally up higher. This is scenario one, all right? This is the bullish scenario. Which basically states the main idea of this scenario is that all the bearish pressure we've had in the last month or so is fake or is just an imbalance, and we will reclaim back into the range in which we were in longer between November and February. We were in there for 3 months. It's not nothing. So this is scenario one. Look, I'll tell you up front, I don't think that this is the most likely scenario. All right, personally, I'm leaning towards a more bearish scenario. I would call it neutral to bearish scenario because I am still very bullish on Bitcoin, but I do think short term that we should expect some more bearish pressure. Now, I am still prepared for this scenario, but the only buy area I have for this scenario would be to buy back at 92,000 if we actually get a definitive reclaim back into that range, right? If I see a move with a lot of volume and an actual reason to be bullish on Bitcoin, and we break back above 92,000, I will buy there. But currently, I have no levels where I would buy. If our main support level right now is around 80,000, I have no buy areas there. But if you think this is the main, or if you think this is the most likely scenario, then 80,000 and the level around that, 80, 78,000 is the main level to buy. All right, so there your own opinion also comes in. But like I said, I mean, given what I expect from the stock markets and just in general what I think about fundamental catalysts for Bitcoin or the lack thereof, I would not say this is most likely. Like I said, I am more leaning towards a neutral/bearish scenario, and that means that this bearish breakdown we had is real and that we will still see some more bearish pressure, right? So that could look something. It's always, look, predicting Bitcoin multiple months ahead is very difficult, but that could look something like this. Consolidate right here, and then from here eventually get some sort of an uptrend. Could also be that we drop down a little bit lower like this. I would be prepared with my buy areas for both, all right? Because the main buy areas in that scenario, which basically states that we're going to be trending down for some time longer before getting a new move up, The main buy areas I have for that is, first of all, the retest of the previous range we held the majority of 2024. So that's this level right here between 68,000 and 73,000. Look, if you want to know when I'll buy Bitcoin, because I have bought Bitcoin here at 78,000 as well. If you want to know my full strategy, and if you want to know all my trades, consider joining the Signal group. But I'll give you this trade. I do have spot limits set up here. All right, so I do have buy orders. I mean, if we drop down into the level, I will definitely buy. Now, like I stated earlier, when we were talking about this scenario, we can drop down lower. There's two other levels that I'm looking at. And ultimately, look, if World War III breaks out, Bitcoin will drop down lower. But given my thoughts on the fundamentals for Bitcoin right now, I don't expect it to drop down lower. However, I have three areas where I will buy. The first one for the scenario. The other scenario I will buy if 92,000 reclaims, but the main one is right here, low 70s. Then you have the POC of the previous range, that's around 63,000. What happens quite often is that the price finds strong support at the POC once it drops back down into a range which it has been lower. So I think that's a great buy area, maybe for some short-term price action. And then last one for a potential very bearish move, the bottom of the range that we also had in 2024. I think fundamentally Bitcoin at this point of time is much more bullish than it was in 2024. So that's with the new administration in the US, but that's also with other developments going on in the world right now. So therefore, I think if we get some very bad news, I think we can spike down into that. And I think we can spike down lower as well. These are not leveraged buys, so I have no liquidation price lower or no stop loss. But I think fundamentally Bitcoin is more bullish than it was in this range. So if we're able to buy back into this range, I think that's a discount. Those are my thoughts, right? That's based on how I view Bitcoin and how I see the fundamentals. But those would be and these are at this point of time also my three main buy areas for Bitcoin. All right, and those I think are the two main scenarios. That's how I am prepared for both scenarios as well. Look, everybody has their own opinion on Bitcoin, and I respect all of those opinions. This is just mine, all right? Based on what I think about Bitcoin and how I see the technicals here. If you want to discuss that, I'm always open for that in the comments or in the Telegram or the Discord groups, which you can join for free. So hopefully I'll see you there. But for now, that's it. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend, and bye.